Racism allegations have surfaced at Grosvenor Girls High School in KwaZulu-Natal. Pupils claim they are being called monkeys. Some disgruntled parents descended on the school, calling for classes to be cancelled till this matter is resolved. KwaZulu-Natal Education MEC Kwazi Mshengu visited the school earlier. My colleague, that's eNCA reporter Dasen Thathiah, joining us now. He's been tracking this story for us. He's back in our studios in Durban. Dasen, a very good afternoon to you. Just break down this meeting for us. What happened?
Well, you know, last week, Raden, there were videos that surfaced showing that there were pupils at Grosvenor Girls High School protesting. Now, the reason for that protest was because of these racism allegations. They had alleged at the time that there was a member of staff that had referred to them as monkeys, and also using other derogatory terms. That's what sparked that protest. Parents were alerted by these pupils, and they also then became angry when they heard about what had allegedly happened there. Now, on the back of all of this, the Education MEC Kwazi Mshengu went out there today to meet with the management of the school to get to the bottom of what was happening there, but also to engage with parents on their concerns and those that say that they were affected by racism at the school. Now, the background to all of this is that it's not the first time that this MEC has been to the school. There were similar allegations in 2019 around racism and remarks that were made. So this time they had to come there with a plan that was going to have some kind of lasting solution after it was done, not just a matter of meeting people and having a he said, she said. This is what the department had told us. So the plan that they've come up with now is to form a panel. Let's listen into what the Education MEC says they're going to do to resolve this situation.
We want to delve deeper into these allegations so that we can be able now to deal with these issues once and for all. We then announced that we are going to appoint an independent panel that will deal in detail with the allegations of racism. The issue of financial irregularities, I think that one will be easy to dispense with. But to deal with the issues of racism, we need an independent panel that will go deeper into those issues. We requested the SGB to say any one of you who has experienced such problems must come forward to the panel and tell the story.
And how did Mshengu respond to the disruptions, Dasen?
Well, he wasn't happy, and I'll tell you how it started. At the beginning, there was a small group of parents that was gathered outside the school, outside the doors of the school, and they wanted to be in that meeting. But at that point, it was a closed meeting between Mshengu and the management of the school. But it slowly turned into a political rally of sorts. I mean, we know that political parties latch onto issues like this. And that's when matters really escalated. And later on, when Mshengu was addressing the parents, there were also members of the EFF that were in that crowd that refused to let him leave because they wanted him to hear their concerns. But his response was, look, there is a panel being set up. That's what the panel is there for. You're welcome to put forward your issues as well as those of your kids. But at that point, that meeting descended into chaos. You can listen now to what he had to say in response to that.
Unfortunately, the EFF, true to their nature and character, they believe that disruption is what will make them relevant. What we are not going to allow is to leave the school without talking to learners. We have called the police to remove these people from EFF, all of them. And we are going to remain with the learners and talk to the learners. It's unfortunate that they want to be opportunistic and disrupt the process that we are putting into place as a department. They say I must suspend everyone who's implicated. But I don't have a single name on my hands, or a single name in my hands of a person who's implicated. Learners were saying we are called by the educators and all of those things, monkeys and all of that. So we are saying go to this independent panel, say who is the person who called you this, and all of those things. And once we get this report, we will make sure that we deal with anyone who has been involved in issues of racism.
Thank you. Very clear, Kwazi Mshengu there, Dasen. But what about schooling? I mean, in my intro, I read that some of the parents want schooling to be cancelled until the matter is resolved. Will schooling continue as normal?
Well, let me just pick up on two things that Kwazi Mshengu said there. The one is that police were called in. Yes, that was true. They were called in and those members were removed. And the second thing is that he, in fact, did get to address those pupils. For now, schooling does continue. The parents, or those that were gathered there, because we can't confirm that every single one of those that was protesting outside was, in fact, a parent, wanted the principal to be suspended and suspended immediately, and you would have heard Mshengu responding there. So right now that is the situation. Mshengu also left there with a stern warning saying that anyone who was going to interrupt schooling at Grosvenor Girls or anywhere else would have to be dealt with by the law. Let's listen into what he had to say about that.
We're not going to allow anyone to undermine the state, because disrupting a school is undermining the state and challenging the state. We're going to act with the police, as you can see that they are here now, and we're going to have clear plans with the MEC for community safety in the province to say we want any parents who will be seen disrupting a school to be acted upon by the police decisively. And that is the message that we are communicating, because ultimately these learners must be able to perform. They must cover the curriculum. It is these learners who will be sitting at the end of the year for final examination. And the more they lose time because of their parents, it disadvantages them. And as Department of Education, we have a duty to protect these learners. We have even a duty to protect them from their parents. And that is why we said any parents who will dare come and disrupt school, not only this, but all schools in KwaZulu-Natal, will be met with the full might of the state.
And Dasen, finally, just very quickly, is this the first type of incident in this particular school or not?
Not at all, Braden. In fact, there were previous incidents, and the most recent of those being in 2019, something along similar lines of derogatory terms allegedly being used. And you can see that this time around, both the pupils and the parents, they won't let this go easily. They want a tangible solution. They want to know that something is being done. And it could be that after the 21 days that this inquiry will take, there could be possible suspensions at the end of that, depending on what comes out of it.
Thank you very much, Dasen Thathiah there, coming us to live from Durban on that allegations of racism at that school, and investigations are underway. Parents demanding action.